Hello there duelists, and welcome to a first for the channel, and that's the first speed dueling profile. So today I'm going to be looking at everyone's favourite Dark Magicians. So I was quite surprised that Dark Magicians aren't better in speed dueling. The speed dueling format's effectively driven by nostalgia, so the fact that good old DMs aren't absolutely broken in them makes me question what Konami are doing, especially when it seems like Blue Eyes have got a much better run of it. From my mind, this is mostly because the skills that are associated with Dark Magician just aren't nearly as powerful as they could be. So in the intro, we're going to be going through the skill that I've chosen, which is Arcana's Magician's Act. So this has got a few parts to it. You can, at the beginning of the duel, shuffle a card into your deck to add a Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, or you can flip reverse and get that Dark Magician back into the deck, which is the one that I'm mostly going to be doing. In addition, you contribute a Dark Magician you control to draw 2 cards, which I've got to say, I don't think is that, useful. Once you've got Dark Magician on board, you want to keep him on board. So, with that, let's dive into the rest of the deck and see what these guys can muster. Okay, so starting up, we've obviously got our 3 big guy himself, Dark Magician. So in this deck, we mostly want to have Dark Magician in the deck. There's no benefit really to him being in the hand. He's very difficult to summon from the hand. And with the new support that came out from the Battle City box, we definitely think best in deck, which is why we've kind of chosen to use Arcana's skill to get him back in. You could definitely switch it up for maybe Switcheroo or something like that, but in my opinion, Magician's Act can definitely provide some options. From there, I've actually chosen to go with the Dark Magician Girl. Originally I wasn't playing her, but I think that she's just another great way of getting Dark Magician out. So obviously this is completely nostalgia bait, and I think that one of the things is that, there aren't that many ways of getting the Dark Magician out, and Dark Magician Girl can be some removal as well as actually getting Dark Magician out. So obviously she gains 300 for each Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in the graveyard, which I would say keeps her at 2,000 pretty much all the time. From there, our final monster that we're playing is 2 of the Legion, the Fiend, Jester. So this guy's got a couple of effects. So his main one that you're going to be using most of the time is, in your main phase, you contribute summon 1 Spellcaster type monster in face-up attack position in addition to your normal summon. So you can normal summon him and then normal summon the Dark Magician Girl over the top of it. In addition, if you send to the graveyard, you can add a normal Spellcaster type monster from your deck or your graveyard to your hand, which I think rarely comes up. It might in edge cases, but I've not found that I'm using that effect that often. Okay, so onto the spells, which kind of make up the bulk of this deck. So 3 Dark Magic Curtain. So this is one of the more recent cards, one of the cards that came out of the Battle City box, used by Arcana in the anime, obviously, and it's as good here as it was there. So Dark Magic Curtain, pay half your life points, which is probably going to be 2,000. Especially summon a Dark Magician from the deck, which is really why you want to keep that Dark Magician in deck, which is really where you kind of skill card comes into play. You can shuffle a drawn Dark Magician back into the deck, and then Dark Magic Curtain becomes alive. It's a shame that it doesn't summon from anywhere else, but what are you going to do? From there, we're playing 3 Sage of Stone, which goes hand in hand with our Dark Magician Girl. So this can summon a Dark Magician from your hand or from the deck. Again, you really want to be summoning from the deck just so you're getting that additional resource, rather than going neg from your hand. I would say it's a solid card. It's a shame that it doesn't summon from graveyard, but I mean, again, like Dark Magic Curtain, I think these are just older cards, and I think that there's just not that much support for Dark Magicians in the speed dueling format. I'd like to see more. From there, we've got some kind of our generic cards. Oh, in fact, actually, I'll start with this. So we've got 1 Dark Magic Attack. And I have seen, a couple of builds where, what you're aiming to get is Dark Magician Girl, a Dark Magic Attack, and a Dark Magician, so you can kind of, blow the opponent's back row and then swing in for game. I find that is going to rarely happen and is a little, at best a little inconsistent. Having said that, I think you kind of need this. It's the only way of removing back row, at least in my current build. From there, I'm running 3 Allure of Darkness. So Allure of Darkness is obviously an absolutely amazing card and one of the best cards in the speed dueling format, and it allows you to turbo into the cards that you need. But seeing 3 of it can mean that you end up losing cards. You've not got that many monsters, so you end up losing cards that you may not have wanted to lose. But I don't see any other real way at the current moment of building Dark Magicians. I think the only way of doing it is just turboing through into the cards that that you can use. And then finally, another addition from the speed duel, from the Battle City speed duel arc, should I say, is 2 Soul Exchange. So Soul Exchange was, I suppose, one of the original starter decks, I think. But Soul Exchange is actually really, really solid in the speed dueling format. Tributing monsters is much more, I suppose, viable just because of the pace of the game, and Soul Exchange being able to get rid of one of your opponent's monsters in order to summon is absolutely fantastic, which means that Dark Magician Girl plus Soul Exchange actually becomes removal and forward progression, rather than just waiting and tributing using the Jester. So what I would say is obviously the Soul Exchange means that you can't attack that turn, which is obviously a hugely limiting factor, but overall it's well worth the risk. So, concluding Dark Magicians. He's just as bad in speed duels as he is in normal TCG, which is really sad for me to say. He could really do with a better skill. The Arcana skill is okay, but it's never going to get him really off the ground. And stuff like the Gaia skill or Spellproof Armour are just miles away better. He's never really going to be anything than a role-play deck in the current way and the current card pool. So for relevance, unfortunately, it's only a measly 1 for Dark Magicians. In terms of fun factor, the majority of the fun is really going to be from getting the old Magician out, but even that is enough to put a smile on my face. So for fun factor, I'm going to go with a 3. This deck comes to $22 based on my estimations from TCG Player, which is actually on the dearer side for speed dueling. The Allure of Darknesses and the limited availability of the original Yugi structure decks makes a lot of these cards above the average for speed dueling. So he's expensive, a bit rubbish, but he's still got a place in my heart. So what do you think? What skill would make the Ultimate Wizard actually worth playing? Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other content on the channel.